What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to bring you a slate breakdown for this 4-game WNBA slate. I do apologize for yesterday if you guys were looking for video and content. Yeah, I just ended up having a long work shift the night prior and was KO'd, so I really missed the first game. Didn't get anything out except for that Power 2. If you guys were on the community tab, you saw that. We cashed out. We hit that. And then almost hit a second one later on in the day when I played the Brittany Griner one, but unfortunately, BG legit hooked by 0.3. It was horrible. She had a late turnover that she didn't need to get for no reason, and then went 1 of 5 from the free throw line. So that one was easy money. That was easy. But BG, she just didn't want to come out and be BG in the first half like she's been. But we got a nice 4-game slate today over here on DraftKings, FanDuel, and everything. So I am looking forward to breaking these stuff down. If you guys are new here and you're enjoying the content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you're not missing any of the uploads and videos. And with that being said, let's dive into the slate. All right. So straight out the back, we got 2 games at 3, 1 game at 4, and another game at 6 o'clock. Pretty spread out. Well, not too spread out. The games that you're kind of going to want some injury news and updates from, they're the first 2 games. We really do. Well, never mind. I actually already put it out. We do need to know in regards to this first game if Canada's going to play or not. The last game, she was out after the first half due to a shoulder injury. Didn't see any updates or anything like that. I haven't found anything saying anything about her shoulder, but right now, RotoWire has her as very likely to play, so I'm going to go with the fact that she should be playing in this game. I know Chenny, she's going to be out. She was ruled out last game. Of course, that foot is acting up on her again. No surprise there. So what that means is that, of course, the rotation for the bigs is going to be shorter. You pretty much just got Azura Stevens, you got Derek Hamby, you got Nneka. That's your big rotation, primarily that you're going to be going to. Of course, you got Burrell. She's a pretty big, can play the small forward-ish position. She's pretty big out there herself. And other than that, that's pretty much it. They moved Jasmine Thomas into the starting lineup last game. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to try to run that again to see how that goes. She did not do it. She legit went out there and had zero. She had 3 turnovers, 1 assist, big fat 0 on sites. So yeah, looking forward to that again. Going over here for the Dream, looks like Ari McDonald is a game time decision. I'm going to have to look more into that. Didn't see anything else in regards to that. But other than that, everyone else is back, good to go. Nothing new over there for them. For the Washington Mystics, Elaine Deladon, she twisted her ankle in the last game. So she's going to be out today. With that being said, the rotation for the bigs over here for the Washington Mystics, man, is getting shorter and shorter. So we might have some value in the event of the bigs over here for the Washington Mystics, especially just because now Misha Hines is going to be thrust to the starting lineup. Back in the day, before she got injured and stuff, she was a decent fantasy point per minute scorer. And then, of course, you just got Tina Hawkins out there. So that'll be an interesting dynamic. But, of course, with Elaine Deladon and Shakira Austin out, that really just means we look more towards the guards for the Washington Mystics anyway, and Cloud, Atkins, and Sykes. Plus the matchup that they have today going up against the Dallas Wings. It bodes very well for that because we do know the Wings, they've been getting torn up on the defensive side all season, and the guards is really where it's at. They be tearing them up left and right. Over there for the Dallas Wings, no injury news to report. Same old for them. For the Chicago Sky, right now it has game time decision for everybody over here. The biggest thing for the Chicago Sky, and I have an issue with this. I really hate this, is the fact that Dude Headass is going to go coach for the Toronto Raptors. He pretty much just said, hey, I'm out. He got accepted for the job and is out. Middle of the season. I don't understand, nor do I agree with that dynamic of how things can just go. I really think that's really messed up, especially to the ladies who you're sitting here coaching. You coached up. You brought them into this organization and all these things like that. To me personally, if I was the employee of something of this sort of thing, I'd be upset. Yeah, cool. It's good that you're gonna go get a higher echelon and to go coach at a different level and stuff, but to leave us in the middle of our season where we've had some turmoil, we're up and down. To me, I just feel like you just jumping ship. Honestly, that's just what it really feels like to me. But that is my own gripe with that. James Wade, Geodude Headass, he is gone away from the Chicago Sky, so we no longer have to worry about him, seeing him run up and down the sidelines, yelling and screaming for no reason. And yeah, they got an interim head coach, so there's no telling exactly how stuff is going to shake up for the Chicago Sky now they're under new coaching. Of course, we're going to have to see that from the first game, but we will, of course, target and attack the starters because that's where everything normally runs through anyway for them, and they have a pretty good matchup going against the Indiana Fever. Over here for the Fever, they have nothing to report for their injury report, and then coming out here to the New York Liberty taking on the Seattle Storm. Dolson, she is still out for the Libs. Nothing else to report for them. And then for the Seattle Storm, looks like Horson is a game time decision again. And Gabby Williams, she just re-signed with the Storm, so we might get a sighting of Gabby today. We need to know that right there. If Gabby's back, I would honestly expect Gabby to be slipped back into the starting lineup. Jonah Holmes, she doesn't need to start. Mercedes Russell, I'm pretty sure they'd rather have her come off the bench anyway and let Easy be the starting center anyway. So then you're actually anchoring your starting lineup with a defensive-minded player in Gabby Williams, who's actually pretty good on defense anyway. But that's going to be our injury report. Going over to the actual slate, breaking this sucker down. If you guys do not have a DraftKings account and you want one, and you want to come over here and win this money over here on the King, check the link down in the description below so you can get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on DraftKings. All right, first game on the slate. Starting at the top, we got the Los Angeles Sparks taking on the Atlanta Dream. Of course, we know it all starts and begins with Nneka Ogwumike. Of course, with Cheney being out, and like we already said, the rotation for the bigs is going to be short and it's going to be strength anyway. So you're going to have Nneka, you're going to have Hamby. Hamby will play some of that backup 5 role, which is what she did last game, especially once the game got out of hand. Nneka, she got pulled. She didn't look too great in the last game. They really were doubling her, crowding her. She couldn't get too much off, and in turn, the game just got out of hand, so she got pulled. She went 6 of 12 from the field, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Again, to me, she didn't look bad out there. It's just that she was legit getting crowded. Nothing else was going for them out there on the day. But she gets a good matchup going up against the Atlanta Dream, who we do know, Cheyenne Parker. If you're going at her, you could definitely get her into foul trouble. You can get her out there off the court, which is what the Washington Mystics did last game. So we didn't get to see too much of her. Instead, it was a lot of Billings that we saw out there on the floor. And still, Nneka, she too talented. I do like her in this spot. She is going up against a weak Dream defense going up against the centers. Anyway, Nneka, top right there at the top. Nothing else said. Canada, we do need to know for sure if Canada's going to play or not, because if Canada is out and due to that shoulder injury, then we're going to see a bit of Zaya. We're going to see Henderson. Of course, unfortunately, that's going to put JT more into consideration since she's starting, so she's already in consideration. But we just need to know. Of course, I would feel safer with Zaya and Henderson right now just because we've seen what they can do over JT. JT, of course, she's been a starting caliber point guard before in the league, but we just have not seen that from her at all in her time playing for the Sparks. I know eventually she'll get it going, but right now, it's looking very sloppy out there. Her shot's just not falling, and she just doesn't look in sync with what the team is trying to do just yet. That's a very deep GPP play for me. If I'm looking at that right there, I'm not really considering JT just because the consistency, the floor isn't even there for her at 4K, which is sad for a 4K player. I would legit rather play Zaya or Henderson to fill in that role if I'm going to go at anything. And then coming down, of course, like I said, Hamby's in a very good spot where she can go out here and she can pop off. Came back and did pretty well going up against Chicago in the second game, played 30 minutes. And that's what I would expect for her to play, especially with Cheney being out. The rotation for the bigs is going to be literally just siphoning through Stevens, Hamby, Nneka, and they might play some small ball, something like that. That's what I would expect for them to do going into here. So Hamby, of course, at 8,200. If you don't want to pay up for Nneka, Hamby, we know she has a pretty good ceiling, and with the minutes that she's getting at 30 minutes, just looking at it, 30 minutes, 33 fantasy points, 32 minutes, 24.5 fantasy points, 30 minutes here, 28.75, 31 minutes. She only gave us 18. So the floor doesn't seem too bad as long as she's getting about 30 plus minutes. So that's what I'm expecting here in this game for her, and it's a good matchup. I will be taking a Hamby, the upside for her, and everything is going to be there. Plus the pace of play and everything in this game, it should be well in Hamby's range because she does like to run up and down the court. Stevens, she saved me on FanDuel the other day. 25 minutes, dropped 24.75 fantasy points. If they give her the burn, we know she can go out there and do it. She finally had that good scoring night with 15 points, 6 of 10 from the field. I hope it can transfer over into this game today because, again, at 6,700, I will have interest in Stevens. She will make my player pool. Definitely someone I can consider for GPPs, or especially over on FanDuel or something like that, because I know her price hasn't been bumped up or anything. I will definitely be considering Stevens. Not someone that I would put into a cash line or anything like that, just because the inconsistency is still there with her. Carly Samuelson, I do like her, especially if Canada's going to be out. I know she can initiate the offense. Her assist upside should go up as well for her. Played 35 minutes in the last game, gave us 19.25 fantasy points. If she's still sitting in that 5 to 4K range over on FanDuel, I do like that as well for her. I'm not going to hate that, especially if Canada's going to be out some increased responsibilities will be put onto her shoulders, and we do know that she can go out there and she can bang with the best of them. 14 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds here going up against the Dallas Wings in 35 minutes. So I do know that the floor, at least to get 20-ish, 20-plus fantasy points, is out there for Carly. Sitting at 6'1", not a bad spot, and I do not hate that for her here today. Going over to the Dream side real quick. Looking at it, Alicia Gray, man, she popped off in that last game. 42.75 fantasy points, 26 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal. Good, really great. Coming into this matchup right here, going up against the Sparks, we just seen what the shooting guard and point guard technically can do going up against the Sparks. Because we just saw Courtney Williams just drop back-to-back, bust their ass with over 40 fantasy point games going up against them. I feel like this is, again, another spot where we could see either Alicia Gray or Rainey Howard actually do that going up against the Sparks. I do not mind either one of them sitting at 93 or 9,200. I'm telling you right now, Alicia Gray will be the cash option. Rainey will be the GPP option. And it's not only for the price difference, just because Alicia has a safer floor and she's been more consistent with what she's actually going out there doing for us. Nia Coffey, she went out there and she looked like she was legit the Washington Mystics killer. I did not expect that back-to-back games for her, but she's been on the heater. 600. Maybe I might just rather go to Stevens or something like that if I want to get my cup of tea, but I would rather focus on the guards in this game. But Coffee, I'm not going to hate on that right there. If you're thinking about going there, if you land on it, that's not a bad spot, but definitely something I'd be iffy about and whatnot. Let's see. Looks like, but she can likely be considered doubtful for that contest as well. Yeah, I doubt Ari McDonald's going to play, so I'm not even going to worry about that. Haley Jones at 5'8". I want the price to come down just a little bit more. Her minutes are just being cut into. She's not really getting the burn and run. I don't know what the heck is going on with that, but the consistency not there for her. Monique Billings, like I said, with Cheyenne Parker getting the foul trouble, Billings' minutes have been ticking up steadily. They've just been ticking up anyway. She's coming out there. She's playing hard. She's rebounding very well and bringing a tenacity that they're liking on the defensive side. At 5,200, that is a bit much when I can go over and play the Washington Mystics value. But Billings, GPP play right there if you're even considering it. And then down here to the guards for them, Danielle Robinson, if she could just stay out of foul trouble and not pick up ticky-tacky fouls in the beginning of a game, maybe she might actually be out there long enough to do something on the fantasy side. 4,900, I will like that price for her. I will consider her again today, but back-to-back games, she legit picked up 2 fouls within the first 3 minutes of the game. 2 fouls, and she's been yanked. If she can actually play and not foul and do something consistent out there on the floor, she's worth a look. Other than that, right now, she's a GPP just because she's just playing stupid. It's just plain as day to see. Durr, too much of a GPP wild card for me. I'm not really looking there in this game. If you're expected to blow out, maybe you can consider Durr or Hillman, but everyone else down here, Letitia, they are legit giving her minutes. They like what they see from her. I would like to see some more. I don't hate it as another GPP play. 3,900, she's bumped up 200 from excuse me, her price last time. I don't mind going there to her if excuse me, you legit have some other spots that you're trying to hammer in some solid studs, but that's a very deep GPP play. You don't need to force yourself to play her today. Not on today's slate. That's not needed at all. Going over to the Washington Mystics, taking on the Dallas Wings. Like I said, Lane Delon, she's out. She's not playing. If you watch that ankle sprain and her limping off the floor, there's no way that she plays. A big girl like her, I do not expect her to play. So we know that's going to mean that everything's going to fall into the shoulders of Sykes, Cloud, and Atkins. Of course, out of all the three, Cloud, she gets the biggest boost because we do know she's going to go out there and she will score more, but she also covers the other peripheral stats, rebounding, getting assists, and she can bring it on the defensive side. At 8,600, I love her in regards to cash games, and they've played the Dallas Wings already this season. And in that, she played 30 minutes and she dropped 27 fantasy points. Only 10 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. So we know the upside is there for her to get her points to go up even more. I do like that for her, especially if she's able to knock down some threes in this game. And Dallas Wings, they do allow quite a bit of three-pointers to opposing teams. So that makes Cloud very enticing to me, especially for gas games. Atkins, her three-point shot looks like it's been somewhat fallen over the past couple of games. Of course, she came out there later dud, going 1 of 4 last game against the Dream. But before that, 3 of 4 and 6 of 7. So it looks like she was finding some type of consistency with her shot. Again, they're on the road, so take that into considerations. But she's a three-point sniper and one of the best of them. Last time going up against the Dallas Wings in 30 minutes, she gave us 39 fantasy points. She had 16 points, a couple of steals, a block, some assists, and rebounds. I will consider that once again for her. Sitting here at 8,100, I will definitely have her in my play pool and in considerations if I don't want to run with Cloud, if I feel like maybe it's just going to be a better spot for Cloud here. But Atkins playing the 2, I do like her here. And then Sykes, she should draw that Satu defense, but still, she might be able to do a little something out there. In 32 minutes going up against them, she only put up 14.25 fantasy points. Take that with a grain of salt. Over the past 5 games, she has been very consistent with what she's doing, no matter the matchup. She's going out there, going up against the Sky, the New York Liberty, and the Dream. All these matchups, she has played very well, and it's been her rebounding. And if she's not getting on the rebounding side, she's at least getting the assists, but also the steals. The wings, they do turn over the ball quite a bit. Arike is very erratic with the ball herself. Dangerfield, she can definitely toss some ill will passes, and then Satu, don't even get me started in regards to some of the passes that she makes. With all that being said, I definitely do like the upside for Sykes here, sitting at 9,400, but I would prefer coming down to her counterparts down here in Cloud and Atkins for the value that we do get with them in this spot. Coming down here to Tina Hawkins and Misha Hines-Allen, looking at these two right here. They bumped her up to 6,300. I really kind of wish they would have kept her in the 5K range. Let's see. Going against Dallas, she played 11 minutes, only gave us 75 fantasy points. I'll be honest. The matchup for the Dallas Wings on this side of the ball is going to be better since they don't have to deal with Shakira Austin's or Elena Delle Donne now on the defensive side of that. Hawkins and Misha Hines-Allen, this is probably going to be a spot that we might be able to take Tiara McCowan in because, one, she'll tower over both of them. And I don't think that they'll be able to hang with her long as she can keep herself out of foul trouble. So I kind of don't have too much interest in Tina Hawkins or Misha Hines-Allen, especially the price bumps that they got, knowing that they could possibly get themselves in foul trouble and just come out there and just lay a dud. Anyway, I'm not going to consider them here on today's slate. And then Walker, Zowie, Myers, and not too much interest right there. Zowie, she should probably see a boost in a couple more minutes since she is technically going to be the only other backup forward that they're going to have to come out here for them. Because, yeah, without Elena Delle Donne and Austin, you literally are just down to these 3. And then over here on the guard side, like I said, I mean, they did sign Harper, I believe, not too long ago. But I don't know too much about Harper. Not too sure what she's going to actually go out there and bring to the table. So Zowie, she is going to have to be in consideration since she technically is the only other person they're going to have to bring off of the bench. Played 5 minutes against Dallas, gave 2 fantasy points. That's it. Other than that, I'm not feeling the prices for these two. That's the only thing. Maybe over on FanDuel. I mean, I'm waiting right now for my FanDuel account. Looks like I was hacked. Someone tried to withdraw from my account. So I'm waiting to get back into my FanDuel account again. Hopefully I can get that content out for FanDuel today. But Tina Hawkins, if she's priced pretty decently over there on FanDuel, I would not mind taking that over there over there. All right, going over to the Dallas side, Satu and Howard. Those are 2 that I kind of want to focus on because looking at them, they're in consideration for me, especially looking at what we just saw Cheyenne Parker and what we just saw Nia Coffey do. Nia Coffey plays power forward position. That's what Howard plays. Satu, she sometimes slide down there whenever Howard gets herself in foul trouble. Or if they want to run the double big lineup with Tiara McCowan and Kalani Brown, we know that could be the power forward situation as well. Looking at what Howard did, 31 minutes, she gave 36.25 fantasy points. You're telling me there's no Elena Delle Donne. Rebounds up for grab. Rebound galore. I know Natasha Howard, she can rebound pretty well. She's been rebounding okay, even with Tiara McCowan being out there. And then if Tiara gets herself into foul trouble, we do know Natasha can slide into that center position as well. The scoring upside is there, the block upside, and everything else that she has is there. Tina Hawkins, she's going to come in and try to make some easy shots. Misha Hines-Allen, she's going to do the same thing. I don't mind Howard or Satu or McCowan, honestly, if I'm being just plain straight up honest. They all have a pretty decent matchup here now that we do not have to worry about the other bigs for the Washington Mystics. That's just plain. Satu, of course, 10-7. Really haven't had a big game from her in a while. 41.5 fantasy points. That looks beautiful going up against the Phoenix Mercury, but I want more, especially sitting at 10-7. And I know the upside, I want at least 45 to 50-ish fantasy points. She has that. She can get there. Finally, she did bounce back very well in that last game. Definitely in considerations whenever you're looking at it, but 10-7, I don't feel like you have to pay for her, especially when you have like Aaliyah Boston who's sitting right there around that same price range. And I can just come down and get the savings in Howard, who's been pretty consistent even with McCowan being back. Only one dud game going up against the Smarks, where she dropped 21.25 fantasy points. Other than that, she's been very well. McCowan, if she can keep herself out of foul trouble and actually stay on the court, this again is a pretty smash spot where she can rebound all she wants. She legit can rebound all she wants. We just legit seen what Cheyenne Parker did going out here, going up against the Washington Mystics. without Shakira Austin, and now you're going to be without Lane Deladon as well. I do like this spot for her. The guards, I will not touch the guards going up against the Washington Mystics just because guards, they typically do have a harder time going up against them. Arike, in 38 minutes, she dropped 29.75 fantasy points going up against them last time at 10-1. I'd rather go ahead and find the value or the savings, maybe play a Sabrina Ionescu, Courtney Vandersloot, or Jewel Lloyd if I'm going to play that in better spots. The defense is there for the Washington Mystics to be able to hold Arike down, and they can. They truly can. Everyone else down here, Burton, she looks like she's falling out the rotation. Aware now. We do have value in Odyssey Sims. They brought her back. We do know that she will play minutes. That's just because they do like what she brings. I believe she's going to take little Burton minutes. Burton's probably not going to get too much burn. At 3,700, this is probably going to be the value that we're going to want to go with for today. Really, there's nothing else for me over here on that game. Going over to the Chicago Sky, taking on the Fever. This should be a good back and forth type game, fast pace. We do know that the Sky, they do like to push the pace normally. Again, of course, I'm going to want to see what this team is going to look like since they're not going to be no longer under Jill Dude. And going against the Fever who play pretty fast paced themselves. But with that said, since it's a shift in the coaching and everything, I would imagine that the interim coach is going to lean on their starters and lean on the women who have been doing it for them already. That is going to be Elena Smith, Courtney Williams, Marbury Copper, a little bit of Elizabeth Williams, but not too much of Williams. I'm not. But Elena Smith in this spot twice. They've already played them twice already for the season. She played 38 minutes, dropped 36.75 fantasy points, and then again, she played 39 minutes and dropped 40.75 fantasy points. I do like her here. I feel like the matchup, of course, we know power forwards, centers, all of them have had very good games going up against the Fever. That's not going to be any different right here going for Elena Smith, who has the upside and the block upside as well. I love what she brings out there. Her offense game is pretty good. Her rebounding, playmaking, all of that. She stuffs the stat sheet in more than one category, more than one area. I like going to her today on the slate. Courtney Williams, I'm going to wonder if she can keep the momentum going of what she's had over the past two games where she dropped 43 and 51 fantasy points going up against the Sparks. Playing against the Fever in 31 minutes, she dropped 21.25 fantasy points, and 31 minutes, she dropped 19. So the Fever might have had her number, but I'm not too worried about it just from the consistency and what we just seen from her recently. At 9,500 though, I will say there's better guards on the slate that we can come down to. The price hack for her to get jumped up to 95 over Marbury, over Copper is way too much, and that's ridiculous. I know she just popped off for two great games, but this is a spot where we can see Copper come out here and pop and go and do her thing, where she played against the Fever, 38 minutes, dropped 31 fantasy points, and where'd the second one go? Actually, she only played against them once this season. I forgot she was out one game. But in 38 minutes, she dropped 31 fantasy points. Might be a spot we can go to Copper or Marbury, who in those two games going up against the Fever, 38 minutes dropped 47.5 fantasy points. And then in the first game, 30 minutes dropped 39.5 fantasy points. So I'm going to be honest, 9,500 when I have Sykes, Cloud, Atkins in a plus matchup and plus spot with the usage for me in that game right there, I might be looking over there more. When I have Sabrina Ionescu, Courtney Vandersloot going up against the Storm, who bleed points to the guards as well, I'm not going to be paying 95 for Courtney Williams when we have other spots on the slate we can go to for them instead. Again, Elena Smith, I do like her. If you're going to play anyone else from the Sky, I will very much be considering her. Like I love her game. I love what she goes out there and does. Everyone else I'm not going to look to just because I don't know how the rotations and what it's going to be just yet. We have to see what this new coach is going to do before we can make sound decisions on how that's going to affect them. Going here for the Sky, Boston, plus matchup, plus spot. This is a spot where we've seen her in the games going up against the Sky. Play pretty decent. 33 minutes, dropped 28.5 fantasy points. And then 39 minutes, dropped 47.75. She's coming off of a stinker going up against the Phoenix Mercury, where that was a pretty tough matchup for her out there. Going up against someone who's kind of similar in stature, similar in play style in Elizabeth Williams, she should be able to go out there and have her way and possibly put up a big game for us here in the spot. I do like going to her right there. And then, of course, if you want to, you can always come down to Alyssa Smith if you feel like Smith has the better spot and the better upside to pop off for them. Everyone else, like I said, for the guards, really, I'm not looking too much. I kind of have my guard rotation and who I'm looking at for today. But Kelsey Mitchell, if they want to stay in the game, Kelsey, she does have to at least shoot decently and do a little bit of something. And then Erica Wheeler, who's been playing pretty decent over the last several games. I mean, this is what I would expect from someone who's somewhat cash safe and has a decent floor. At 6,800, though, we do have a little bit of better value on the slate that we can go to instead of her. Everyone else, Queen Egbo, none of them. I'm not really looking at any of that right here on the slate. Going over to the New York Liberty taking on the Storm. This game right here, we've seen it once. Now, we haven't seen it with the Storm playing the way that they've been playing. Of course, this is Breanna Stewart coming back to Seattle again. She's already played it once. She's 12-5. Again, we have NECA, we have Boston, we got Tierra McCowan, Satu, Howard. We got all these other bigs on the slate. Just like I said when she played going up against the Aces the other day. Do I have to pay $13K, $12,500, $12K for this player? Do I need to handicap my lineup to get Breanna Stewart in? Is she going to give me that 60 fantasy point game? I'm not saying that she's not going to go out here and do it, but the chances of her coming out and doing that are, look at the game logs. She's done it once, twice over the past several games. I don't feel like we have to pay this much for her when the guards are in just as good of a spot. And Sabrina Ionescu due for a bounce back game. This is a Sabrina spot right here. Last time when they played going up against the Storm, 37 minutes, she dropped 34.5 fantasy points. She had her shot going, was rebounding and assisting very well. I feel the same way about her again here today. Yes, Stewie can go out there and she can give Ezzy the work. She can give Russell the work. She can go ahead and give Horston, Holmes, whoever they want to put on her the work. I agree with you on that. But again, Jonquel Jones sitting right here at 8,500. In that game, if you play Jonquel Jones over playing Breanna Stewart, who pretty much flopped going up against the Aces, you didn't do bad still. 24 minutes, Jonquel looked pretty good. 13 points, 2 blocks, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. Playing the Storm the first time she played 18 minutes and gave us 19.75 fantasy points. I like Jonquel Jones here in the spot over Breanna Stewart if I'm going to take either one of the bigs for the New York Liberty. That's just my 2 cents. I don't think you have to pay that much for her. And I'm probably leading the charge in regards to, do I need to play Breanna Stewart every single slate? I feel like I harp on that every single slate. But yeah, Jonquel Jones is in a really great spot. Courtney Vandersloot, Sabrina Ionescu, both of them are in prime conditions, prime spots, bounce back spots, as a matter of fact. Playing against the Storm the last time, she played 36 minutes and only gave us 26 fantasy points. 26 fantasy points with 0 points. 0. How many times is Sloot going to go out here in the season and score 0 points? Very, 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 very small margins that she's going to go out there and do that again. She can give us that assist upside, the rebounding, and maybe the defensive upside again, and at least go out there and score what she's been averaging, which is 11 points a game. She's primed to also go off. I do like both of the guards here. I like them both. And Jonquel Jones. Like those would be my plays that I would be looking at from this game over Breanna Stewart. Again, I'm not saying that she can't go out here and lay it down with the best of them, but the odds are she's probably not going to pay off that price tag. Probably not. Not when we got other players in better spots. Laney, she's, of course, she stepped it up in regards to getting the minutes and burn and stuff like that. Everybody for the Aces, they did not play good. Everybody in the game going against the Aces did not play good. So I'm going to scratch this game out of here. But since Dawson's gone down, she has not looked bad in the run, in the burn that she's been getting in 36 and 34 minutes. So, of course, Laney sitting at 7-3. You do kind of got to consider her. Johanna Thornton, Prince, Sabley, not really looking at any of those right there on the slate. And then going over to the Storm side, Horston, I know the last time they said that she was getting there, but she's not where they want her to be. We do need to know if Horston's going to play or not, because if she doesn't, I hate to finally say it, I hate to finally agree with it, you would probably have to consider Sammy Whitcomb, who doesn't seem like she's going to cool down. She scored 20 points in her last 2 games, 33 fantasy points, has looked pretty well. I will have to go ahead and consider her if Horston is out. Of course, I don't think we're going to get that news about Horston at all. And then Gabby, she's not even in the player pool, so I doubt that we're going to know anything about her. Easy, can definitely look to go into her here in this spot. She looked really well in that last game going up against the Lynx, and I don't doubt that she would look pretty decent going here. 38 minutes, she dropped 43.5 fantasy points with 12 points, 14 rebounds, and she just actually does it all in regards to stuff in the stat sheet. If they let her play at the center position, I don't mind, because she does not have to get into the paint like other centers do whenever they play against New York Liberty. She can shoot from the outside, and I feel like she will draw Jonquel Jones out, if anything. And then if Jonquel is only limited to about her 24, 25-ish minutes, then we'll see a lot of Breanna Stewart, and I don't hate that at all for Easy. She's definitely going to be the second fiddle if looking at anything. But Jewel Lloyd, we've attacked guards going up against the New York Liberty all season, and sitting at 11-5. If you can pay up for Jewel, pay up for Jewel. If you can't, it's okay. You don't have to. But Jewel, you just understand she is in a prime spot to be able to pop off herself in this going up against them again. So I do like that for her. Everyone else over here, not really my cup of tea or what I'm looking at on today's slate. But that's going to be a breakdown, kind of long, of course, because we have 4 games. I'm going to try to go ahead and finish getting all the other information out to you guys. My player pool cores and all that stuff will be up on site, and if you guys are wanting that, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. It is right there. It's only $10, and I promise you, you make that back within your first week. I will drop a Prize Picks play as soon as I get something that I like. I will put that on the community tab for you guys, so be on the lookout for that. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys not tomorrow. Next time we have a slate. Good luck.